Good evening to one and all connected here. I hope everyone is safe and sound. I warmly welcome you all to the webinar on Entrepreneurship and Innovation as Career Opportunity conducted by Entrepreneurship Development Cell of JPR Institute of Technology. Feedback forms will be posted in the chat box at the end of this session. Participants are requested to fill those forms. Question and answer session will be held at the end, so I request the participants to post their questions in the chat box. I heartily thank our beloved director, sir, Dr. N. Murray Wilson, for supporting us, and I also thank our beloved principal, ma'am, Dr. L. M. Merling Livingston, for encouraging us. I warmly welcome our honorable guest, Mr. C. Karthik, Director at Ambrose's Bakers and Confectioners. Mr. C. Karthik is the Director of Fortia Energy Private Limited, Latin Nano Materials India Private Limited, Latin Innovative Engineering Private Limited, Ambrose's Bakers and Confectioners India Private Limited. He is well versed in rapid prototyping, qualitative research and analysis, polymer science, EMI, and RF shielding. He achieved the award of Pioneer in Nanomaterial Processing Industry and also Futuristic Product Award. Welcome, sir. Now I request Mr. C. Karthik to take over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Karthik, and thank you, Ms. Gauri, for the introduction. And I would like to thank Dr. Mary Wilson and Dr. Marlene Livingston for their, and Mr. Bhaskar especially for the opportunity given to me to interact with the students. And I have shared the presentation with you, see it on the screen. Today, I'm going to be talking about entrepreneurship as the career option because I hear a lot of college students who wants to pursue entrepreneurship as a career option soon after the college. So here are some things I'd like to say about what we have learned from being an entrepreneur from day one till now, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel again. You can learn it from what we have trialed and errored and learned. So initially, let me tell you a little bit about myself, our company, and what we are doing, and what are the industries we have ventured in, and the innovations we have brought into the industry, and how it helped us as an entrepreneur develop the business. And you can inculcate the same things in your journey of entrepreneurship to develop similar things and to achieve the market traction and the achieve the vision that you're looking for. So this is my educational qualification. Um, my basic degree is mechanical engineering. I'm into manufacturing management, and I've also learned diploma in embedded systems, and also master diploma in product design and analysis. So these are the four different companies whose I'm involved in the operations, daily operations of these companies. So Latin Nanomaterials India Private Limited, it's an engineering polymer company. We do research and development with plastics and polymers. And hope you all know that most of the plastics are non-conductive to electricity. We are the people, only people in India who try and bring electric conductivity to plastic from its basic raw material. So Latin Innovative Engineering, it's an industrial automation division of our group. We do industrial automation to automobile industries like Royal Enfield, Hyundai, and we also do six-axis robotic arms, asset management softwares, IoT devices, and we also run Ambrosia, Bakers and Confectioners, which is an ultra-luxury Korean food retail in Chennai. And we are also into large-scale renewable solar energy project or wind energy project, most of the renewable energy projects in Tamil Nadu. So Latin is a group company. We are a group of 7 companies. We are involved in research and product development, nanotechnology, and ESD polymers. And we are also involved in other life science products. So here comes the list of industries in which we are present in. So industrial automation, as I've told you, right from a conveyor, which is required to move object from point A to point B, till a six-axis robotic arm which paints or welds a particular product without any human intervention. IoT, for example, there is a company called Flextronics in Chennai, which is manufacturing Dell laptops for a company named Dell in US. So Dell US places an order to Flextronics in Chennai, and if there is a issue in the manufacturing process, the product gets delivered to the customer. The customer gets to use the product, and after that, they'll raise a quality issue saying that there is an issue with the quality of the product that has been delivered to them. But with the help of Internet of Things, IoT, now there are sensors placed at Flextronics manufacturing facility where the Dell's laptops are being manufactured. Parameters like wrist strap, which needs to be connected while assembling the laptop to make sure that it is not having any static charge or any damage, and grounding of the table, grounding of the tools, and the certification, qualification of the person who's assembling the laptop. So all this data is given to, subscribed to or published to Dell US on live basis. So if any of this data gives you a red flag, Dell US can stop production right from US in the Indian manufacturing plant. So the mistakes are stopped before even happening. So that is the IoT today. And chemical manufacturing, we are into a lot of construction chemical manufacturing, right from epoxy polyurethane and end products based on epoxy polyurethanes. And R&D, we do R&D for our own division, our own group companies, develop a lot of products for the market requirement. And also we do R&D as a contract services. For example, we have done R&D for Tech Mahindra, we have done R&D for Renault Nissan Technology Business Center India. So we also do R&D as a contract service. And ESD polymers, most of the EEE students would know what is an electrostatic discharge, and the polymers that is required to protect the equipments from electrostatic discharge. So that is one of our specialty. And renewable energy, as I've told you, right from aggregating the power, manufacturing, setting up the facility, we do solar and wind projects. EMI EMC solutions, not just as a raw material, we do it as an end solution. For example, you would have seen a lot of wireless car keys nowadays, and these keys are programmed wirelessly. For example, if a particular key is being programmed now wirelessly, this signals also affects the unprogrammed keys in the conveyor, which is waiting to be programmed. So what you need to do is create a shield room or a shield box. You need to put the key inside the shield box and then program it, so that the wireless signals are not coming out of the box and affecting the other keys which are waiting to be programmed. So this is a small example, application example for EMI EMC solutions, shield box. And if you consider a room which does the same job, that we call as a shield room, which past decades people have been importing shield boxes and shield rooms from China and other European countries. And from the past 3 years, we are the only company in India who are providing end-to-end solution for an indigenous shield boxes and shield rooms. And then, yes, I've told you about the restaurant. So these are the group of 7 companies which forms Latin Group, which is involved in the list of industries that I've been telling you about. These are products and services that we provide. I'm not going to go in detail. I'm just going to tell you what we do. So process automation in the manufacturing industries, design and analysis for the manufacturing industries as well, and IoT integration for manufacturing, assembling, and servicing industries. So this is the indigenous made in India 6-axis robotic arm, which is made by us, designed and made by us, and it contains a complete set of indigenous Indian raw materials, designs, engineers, and everything. And it's also the lowest cost, the cheap cost version. And number 5 is the automatic bike wash machine, which was manufactured for Honda Groups. Paint shop automations, jigs and fixtures. I'll tell you in detail about jigs and fixtures in future. The reciprocators, gantry, and the silicon masks and tapes required for paint shops, antenna positioners, ESD workstations. This is the EMI shielding room, which was delivered to Cisco, number 13. And the number 14 is the shield boxes, which is used to program wireless car keys. Automatic antenna indexes are delivered to organizations like Samir, where antenna calibration, antenna testing is done. These are some of the happy clients for whom we have delivered products so far. These are global R&D centers that we have and we are tied up with. This is a pan-India presence with dedicated customers, OEMs, and channel partners. So these are our production activities in Chennai, different locations where we manufacture different products, right from plastics to polymers to elastomers, fabrications. So I've been telling you a lot about our company, what we do, and what we have achieved so far. So it is not bragging. I just want to let you people, students are going to take entrepreneurship as a career option, to know that what comes after this in this presentation is not theories. Those are proven examples learned out of trial and error, so that you guys don't have to learn it again. Instead, you can learn from it and improvise it from there, and you can pass it on to your next generation so that they'll improvise it further. For any entrepreneur, it is very mandatory to know why you want to become an entrepreneur. The why is a very strong question, and the answer decides everything. For example, take a task such as I want to go to gym for 365 days continuously in a year, and consider an average person is doing it. Four different people are trying to do it, and the first one just wants to go to gym and be fit, and the second one, let us say I paid a gym membership of like 24,000 to 50,000 per year. So I paid per year. So if I don't go, the money is all waste. So I'm going to go to the gym. And the third person, he just wants to win a competition. So he's going to the gym. And the fourth person, let us say he's waiting for an operation to happen and he needs to lose weight to get into the operation. He's a patient and he's going to the gym. And consider, against all the odds, against all, let us say, the COVID and everything, out of these four people, how many of them would have really gone to gym continuously for the past 365 days? How many of you would have achieved the task, would have achieved the vision? So it's all for average person. There is no difference. The only difference that it makes is why they wanted to do it. So similarly, being an entrepreneur, if that's going to be a vision, you need to understand, you need to ask yourself, why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Not only being an entrepreneur, for anything in life. Ask yourself, why do you want to do it? And make sure you have a strong why to pursue it. Because any task for that matter will test your patience, will definitely have ups and downs. It's that strong why that will make you go through all the ups and downs and go through all the testing and achieve the vision. So if this is going to be your task, being an entrepreneur, and the doer is going to be you know, to ask yourself why and fill the reasons and make sure you have a strong reason to go forward. So when it comes to business, yes, there are two different sectors, which are products and services. And of course, you have past, present, and future of these businesses, how they were, how they are currently running, and how things are going to be in future. But there is one thing that is common. It's the market. You need to understand how to read it, how to understand it, how to understand its requirements, and how to be on the same page with the market, and how to provide solution to the market. Once you start learning to do it, then how the business was, how it is now, how it's going to happen in future, you don't have to worry about the time. You don't have to worry about the market parameters changing constantly. You don't have to worry about anything else. So the first thing that you need to learn is learn to read the market, learn to understand the requirement, and learn to provide solution that they really need. If you sell a solution to a market which really doesn't need it, no matter how many billions of dollars you put into the solution, it's not going to sell. So market understanding is the key to the business. And when it comes to, if you ask me, I would differentiate businesses, whether it's a product or a service, into four different periods. The first thing is industrial era. Industrial era is where the demand was so high, but the manufacturers were so low, or the service providers were so low. So the point of entry, if someone wants to do business, every one of you attending a seminar in entrepreneurship cell here would definitely have a sense to get into business. You guys want to get into business, want to pursue entrepreneurship, but you need to have a point of entry. So in those industrial era, any doer, I mean, like anyone who's willing to do business, who's willing to manufacture a product or willing to, provide a service, can start up a business. There were no much difficulties because in those industrial era, the demands were so high, but the supply was so low. And then came the optimization era. So optimization era is a lot of people started getting into providing services and manufacturing products. So the demand is almost equal to the supply now, or the demand is a little bit lower than the supply now. So what happens is people started to choose who's the best, choose who's better, choose who's cheaper, choose who has better quality. So this is where the 5S, Six Sigma, the quality manufacturing, cost optimization, everything started coming into picture. So now, if you just deliver a product or a service that is not sufficient, you need to be better. You need to be better than someone at quality, better than someone at cost, better than someone at delivery. So there came the optimization era. And then came the communication era. I mean, internet came into picture, emails came into picture. So communications have become easier, faster. So now people want quick response, quick customer service, quick deliveries, just in time manufacturing, lean manufacturing, agile manufacturing, manufacturing based on the market requirement. Start a product or start a project with the current requirement, and as the project goes above and above, just change the project as per the market's change in requirements. So that is where the communication era happened. So now you guys are in innovation era. In industrial era, when it comes to point of entry, any doer can get into business. In the optimization era, you need to be better than the existing doers to get into the business. In the communication era, you need to be well connected. You need to have a Instagram page. You need to have a India Mart page. You need to have a Justile presence. You need to have a search engine optimization. You need to do search engine optimization. And everyone, once they learn about your business, they just Google your business. And when they Google your business, you need to be available online. So everything started coming into picture. So we are in between this communication era and innovation era. So right now, if you want to start up a business, way before setting up an office, you need to set up a digital office. That has become mandatory. And similarly, right now, It is not just the digital presence or quick responses or communication or connectivity that is going to get you a point of entry. That has become very mandatory now. So now the advantage, the point of entry for you people is going to be the innovation. So that is why I wanted to talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, because that is going to be, because for anyone to start business, you need to have a point of entry. That innovation is going to be the point of entry for anyone who wants to start from scratch from now on. So what is innovation? People keep talking about innovation, 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 and what is innovation? I mean, like, is it have to be, a space research? Does it have to be? No, innovation doesn't have to be that difficult. Innovation can be as simple as the project that I'm just showing you. This is one of the innovation we have done in TVS Hosur plant during 2013. It was the period when BMW and TVS was merging together to manufacture BMW TVS bike. So they had an issue. They were painting 7 different metal components for this bike. So it was a robotic paint shop. So every paint shop, every conveyor will have a 500 jigs. In this 500 jigs, they'll have their components mount. So when this particular 500, I mean, they need to have 500 into 2, because like when these jigs are mounted with a lot of paint particles and everything, they'll take it for cleaning. At that time, they'll have spare jigs to be in place. Let us say there are 7 different spare parts to be painted, and each spare part had 500 plus 500 jigs. So totally there were 7,000 jigs, and they had to store it safely. And during transportation, they have to make sure they're not damaging it. If they damage the jig, they cannot put the component on top of the jig. So this is where our optimization came into picture. We designed, so it was a design innovation. We designed a jig which can not only mount a single component, which can mount all the 7 components. For example, there are a particular 2 hooks where you will mount the component for component A. For component B, you will be mounting on 2 different hooks. And we have implemented magnets in the jigs to make sure, around here we have implemented magnets in the jigs to make sure the components are not falling. The components are held in place. So the hooks were used for references only. The magnets were used for stability. And this reduced the amount of jigs required to be maintained from 7,000 to just 1,000 now. So their jig removal cost, the jig removal and replacement time. For example, if you want to paint a particular component A, now we want to paint component B, you have to remove all the 500 jigs and place the component B's 500 jigs in the conveyor, and then you have to assemble the component, and then you have to start painting and everything. Now their jig removal time has reduced by 7 times. Their space required to store the jigs has reduced by 7 times. The transportation time reduced. So this is a type of innovation. When I was a startup company, when I had no way to enter into TVS for a project, this was an innovation that got me a breakthrough in TVS. So this is an innovation that got me to break through ITC. ITC is well known for a lot of products. Pencils are one of them. So for the past 30 years, people have been painting pencil with a method called dip coating. There will be a bucket of paint, and the pencil will be passed through the bucket, and the pencil will be dipped in the bucket, and the pencil will be painted. And once it is painted, the corners will be chopped off to make sure the paints are not in the corners. So it's a very short way of telling how the pencils were painted for the past 3 decades. So when we went into ITC, we were not asking for an opportunity, but we were asking for a challenge which they cannot solve, so that we can solve it and we can use it as a point of entry. So this is a spray painting automation done for ITC. So generally, when it comes to normal paint, they'll do 6 coats of primer coating, and then 3 coats of base, and then 2 coats of the clear top coat. But when we provided the painting solution as spray painted pencils, it was a single painting line which required 10 times lesser space than the dip painting, and a single pass it goes through the primer spray painting chamber, and then it goes through the base spray painting chamber, and then it goes through the top coat spray painting chamber, and then it gets out of the conveyor as a painted pencil, fully painted pencil. So this was an innovation which saved them a lot of cost, a lot of time, a lot of paint. So innovation can also be saving. Innovation can be optimizing existing things. Innovation can be saving parameters, as in raw material, time, resource, anything, saving any resources. And innovation can be repeatability and better workspaces. This was a project that got us entry into Toyota. They had steering wheels which was spray painted and exported to Europe, but the steering wheels, the type of paint that you spray on the top of the steering wheel is not good for your health. You cannot be uh, anywhere 10 feet close to the paint if you are spraying it. It causes a lot of health issues. And also, since it is causing you discomfort, you'll not be able to focus on the work. So when you are spray painting, there are high chances that you'll do it badly, and you'll have to scrap it and you'll have to redo the job. So we gave them an automated spray painting chamber where the painter just gets into the chamber, places the steering wheel, and presses the pedal and walks out of it. It automatically paints the steering wheel, and once painted, it will suck all the extra paint, and then only the painter comes into the chamber again to collect the painted steering wheel. So this not only reduced wastage, it also increases repeatability. So even if you paint 1 million steering wheels, it's going to be painted the same way because it's automated, and it's not going to affect the painter's health anymore. So that was the innovation that got us entry into Toyota. And this is an innovation that got us into a ultimately new business avenue. So we were getting problem statements that in the two-wheeler and four-wheeler service centers, especially in two-wheeler service centers, if the service center manager is desiring to take only 50 bikes per day for servicing, so where is that number 50 is coming from? So we discussed with the service center people, the managers and everyone, and we were told, and we were surprised actually to know that in service centers people don't repair your bike anymore. They just replace the components. If your horn is not working, replace it. If your engine is not working, replace it. If your wheels are damaged, replace it. So there is no repairs anymore. It's just replacement, and replacement doesn't take anything more than few minutes. So why just 50 bikes per day, or why just 100 bikes per day when it comes to servicing? And they've given us an answer that it is because we have labor to water wash only 50 bikes per day, or only 100 bikes per day. So that is the only reason we are stopping with 50. We are stopping with 100. So it's not about replacing the component. Even after replacing the component, if I give my customer a dusty bike, he's not going to like it. So it needs to be water washed. And the people who are doing water wash, they're getting soaked up in soap water for 2-3 days continuously, and they get sick and they take leave. They come in rotation shift. They come in rotational shifts. And someday there will be 5 people available. Someday there will be only 2 people available. Someday there will not be anybody available for water wash. So this is where the numbers are fluctuating from 100 to 50 to 0 to 10. So we were so surprised, and we developed this automatic bike wash machine for Honda groups and their distributors initially, and now it has become a separate avenue for business, and now it has become an MSME project. So this is a touchless bike wash machine where people take their bikes in, park it, walk out of the room, close the door, and touch in the HMI that it needs to be cleaned, and it gets automatically cleaned. So innovation can be making someone's life better and easier. You're making the operator who was washing the bike his life better. So innovation can also be as simple as this. And innovation can be like Ola Uber, who has made bargaining impossible. So a lot of people bargain with the cab driver or an auto driver and close the ride, which was started at 100 rupees to 20 rupees. But 80-90% of us really don't have that bargaining skill, and we just pay what the auto or cab driver asks for. And that was a problem statement. And now Ola Uber has become an innovation that has given solution to it. And of course, Foodpanda and Swiggy, Amazon and Flipkart, e-vehicles, and a lot of other problem statements available right in front of you. You're facing it on daily basis, which requires just a bit of innovation to provide solution. Use your innovation there, provide solutions there, and it gets automatically converted into business. And of course, being in a cost-driven country, being in a country where people think if something is given at a cheaper price, it will sell good. Innovations never have to be cheaper. The picture that you're seeing right now, the rightmost one, is a plastic, and the two blue dots are conductive carbon powder. So if you add conductive carbon powder to make plastics electrically conductive, the results, it's a very cheaper way to do it, but the results are very bad. The conductivity will not be uniform, and you may have to add up to 30 to 40% of carbon black to achieve the electrical conductivity. So you lose the basic, you know, strength of the polymers. And the picture in the center is the carbon fiber. Instead of using carbon powders, people started using carbon fibers, chopped carbon fibers, to achieve the same results. It is better than carbon powder, but the results are still lagging. You will not get uniform conductivity. For example, with this material, and I'm applying a floor, epoxy floor, in a factory for 1 lakh square feet. The conductivity will not be uniform in every single square feet. But people have been doing this carbon fiber technology for decades in the Indian polymer industry. When we came in, we used carbon nanotubes to achieve the same. Yes, everybody laughed at us because the carbon fiber that I'm telling you right now, it's around like 80 to 100 rupees per kg. You can add it as an additive and you can achieve electrical conductivity. But the carbon nanotube that I'm telling you right now, that we intended to use in our products when we initially started, we are talking about a 2,50,000 rupees per kg material. So everybody laughed at us, said it's impossible. And even if it's possible, you cannot sell it in the market. India is not the place where people buy expensive products. The market is cost driven. Don't let people tell you that. Innovations doesn't have to be cheaper. We started introducing carbon nanotubes, and we had an innovation of, instead of achieving a particular conductivity in 2% or 3% or 5% of carbon fiber, we achieved the same results with just 0.016% of carbon nanotube. We made sure the dispersion technology is innovated. The materials are not agglomerating. The material is spread across the matrix. So when people were selling at 80 rupees per square feet, we were selling at 120 rupees per square feet, 50% expensive. But we still cracked the market with the quality that we have provided, with the test certificates that we have provided, with the uniform conductivity that we have provided. And we are number one in carbon nanotube based ESD epoxy flooring in India. So I've told you about why. Why do you have to become an entrepreneur? You want to become an entrepreneur? It's not just a strong reason. You need to understand why, and you need to have that strong why to go forward. And I've been telling you about innovation. So innovation, I've told you, I've given you problem statements, I've given you some examples where we have introduced innovation. You can introduce innovations in a very simpler way for a very complex problem, and you can come up with solutions, and that can easily become a business. And the third part is target market. So when it comes to target market, I mean, being a student and thinking about starting up a company or thinking about venturing into entrepreneurship, the first thing that comes into your mind is, which one do I choose? You have n number of options. Which one do I choose? So this innovation will come as a spark. You'll definitely would have found something or will definitely find something innovative to pursue. But once you start once you find something to think about the which your target market. With my experience, I'm telling you which are the markets in which you can easily sell a product. Um, my mentors have taught me, and I'm telling you, and I've been following this, and I found it to be very true. So initially, let us not take too many challenges at a time. Starting up a company, developing a product is already a challenge in your plate. So let us now at least focus on places where the product would easily get sold. So you'll be focusing on the lowest hanging fruit. And once the traction happens, once you start making revenue, you can venture into the rest of the markets. So that way, let us say if there is a problem already existing in the market and your product that you have developed or your service is going to be a solution to it, that is where you need to focus and you need to sell your product immediately. Examples: you have a heavy headache and I'm trying to sell you a Acrosin. It's going to be very easy for me to sell you because you already have a problem. You already have a headache. All you need is a tablet, and I'm already selling it to you. That is the problem state. I mean, selling the product in a places where there is a problem already. And the automation innovations that I've been telling you about, the staring painting, the problem statement was they were already having a problem, health issues, pollution control board issues. So there, the problem was already there. We gave them a solution. It was very easy to sell. So the first prioritized market where you have to focus now initially is places where your product or service is going to be a solution for an existing problem. The second priority is development. Let us say, let us take TVS for that matter. The TVS example that I've been telling you about. So they were already doing their job fine. They did not have any problem with it. But we have given a solution that reduced their wastages, that enhanced their productivity. So that is called development. process development, quality development, developments. So that is the second market. I mean, second prioritized market where you have to focus. Where people, when it comes to the first priority market that I've been telling you about, the problem market, nobody thinks about return on investment. Nobody thinks about evaluating the product, drilling down further and further, because there is a problem. They need a solution right now. And the second product, the market, second priority market, development, people will start drilling down. People will think about why 30% enhancement, why not 50%? So how much I'm going to invest on this development, and what is going to be my return on investment, how long it is going to take. For example, let us say you are giving me a mission for 1 lakh rupees. It is going to save me 1000 rupees per day in my existing production. So I have to wait 100 days to take my money back, and from the 101th day is going to be my profit. So people will be talking about return on investment, how long, and people will be talking about if I'm going to wait for 100 days, and what if my current production stops in 50 days and I've already invested 1 lakh in the development. So there is no use. So in that case, people will be asking you for something lesser cost, and it can save only 500 rupees, not 1000 rupees. But the return on investment needs to be very shorter. So that is the development market, where you will start having a lot of questions. There will be a lot of processes, negotiations, convincing, FEMA analysis, failure effective mode analysis, before implementing a project, selling a product, or selling a service. That is the second top priority market. But if you understand the market right, even the developments market is very easy to sell. And the third one is prevention market. Prevention market is the kind of difficult market to sell your product. Prevention market is nothing but, let us say I'm going to sell you vitamin tablets. You keep taking vitamin tablets every day, so that you'll not have any vitamin deficiencies in future. Is it going to be very easy for me to sell this vitamin tablet to you? No. Until unless a doctor prescribes it to you because of some vitamin deficiency, it will be very difficult, which becomes a problem statement. When it comes to prevention market, it is very difficult to sell a product. Let us take gym memberships. People who are not really interested in um, getting fit, you are telling them that get a gym membership, come to a gym daily, so that you'll not have BP, heart disease, everything in future. An example for preventive market. And the fourth tier market is future requirement. The future requirements are like life insurances, mutual funds, the most difficult to sell market. For example, you buy my product now, you buy my services now, so that in future, if anything happens, it can be handled. It is like buy an RCCI circuit breaker now, so that if there is an electric leakage, you will not be electrocuted. Future requirement or prevention. So future requirement is a place where you can sell a market by just kind of threatening people, telling them how bad it will be if things are not happening the way they planned. So that is the fourth market, future requirement market. So these are the four market types: problem statements which require solutions, developments that can save a lot of resources, prevention, future requirement. So when you come up with a product, or when you come up with a service, once you start the business, make sure you initially focus on the prioritized market, like the problems, and then focus on developments, prevention, and future requirement markets. And once you understand fine tuning or filtering the target market, once you have a strong why, and once you have a sparking innovation solution, and once you know how to read market, and once you know how to filter out and choose the right market to target, you're done with developing your startup. The rest are starting up a private limited company, doing the due diligence works, taxes, GST. There are a lot of professionals who will be helping you right from your entrepreneurship cell, right from your professors, right from your um, government like MSMEs, DIC, the Startup India, and a lot of professionals like auditors, corporate secretaries, lawyers who will be helping you doing the remaining things. So the key parameter to be focused on is the why, the innovation, and the target market, and to make sure that you have a vision, a very long term vision, because the ups and downs are inevitable. It will happen every day, and you'll not have time to focus on your time to realign yourself every day. For example, you have some GST issues today, you have some operating capital issues tomorrow, and you have some customer meets that are missed, and you have some projects that you have lost, you have some projects that you have recently got without anticipation. So there will be lots of ups and downs on your daily operations, which will keep you busy, which will keep your mind busy all the time. You cannot keep reorienting yourself to a target at all times. So the current problem will keep you busy, will keep your mind occupied, and will keep you busy with finding solutions to the current problem. So you need to have a vision. That why will help you develop that vision. And once you have that vision, make sure that you write it, print it everywhere. Right from about us in your company's webpage to in your office, in your descriptions, in your social media pages, descriptions, everywhere. Make sure to write your vision. It is not to tell others, but it is to remind you once in a while to yourself that your vision is this and you're supposed to go towards this. And if the current local problems, local gravity of the situation is turning you left, right, then you'll know that you have to reorient yourself. And once that is all in picture, the rest are walk in the park. I would like to thank everyone for the opportunity, and I would like to congratulate all the future entrepreneurs in advance. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Thank you.
So, thank you, sir. It was a very informative session. It was a very interesting session as well. There are some questions. Shall I address one by one, sir?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. The first question is that how and why did you choose to become an entrepreneur? It is very curious question for me as well.
Great. It was a very quite obvious choice for me. Um, right from I have started my first business when I was 14. So I've started running my father's printing press. In the absence of those were the days when lithography was out of picture. Offset came into picture, and for offset to happen, you need to have a computer. You need to do DTP and everything. So digital type printing and computers, and those were the days computers were introduced, and I had to take up and run the entire printing press for my dad. And that was the first time I started tasting, taking up responsibility and delivering it to the expectation and how it feels. The leadership, the taking up responsibilities, the pressure, the hard work, and the result. So that is when I've learned it. And from that day, it is very difficult for me to focus on same things again and again. There are people whom I have met and who are very successful in life who likes to do a same job again and again. It's like what Bruce Lee says. Instead of practicing 10,000 kicks once, practicing one kick 10,000 times. That repeated job, that repeated cycle, it is a lot of people are so fond of it, and a lot of people wants to have that stability in life, and a lot of people really loves it. But I'm the kind of the guy who cannot do a work repeatedly for more than 3 4 days. I cannot repeat a cycle more than 3 4 days. If you want me to go to a job for 9 o'clock and do a particular repeated job till the evening at 5, and then walk out of the office at 5, and then go back to the office tomorrow at 9 and do the same job, it's kind of impossible for me. So for me, it was a very obvious choice. I had no other choice other than entrepreneurship to um, choose between. But I would say it was a bold decision, because during those days it was very difficult to for a middle class guy to make their parents and the family understand and make them agree to the fact that I'm going to do something um, from scratch. Yes, it was difficult, but for me, it was a very obvious choice that I cannot do regular, and I had to get into something innovative.
So, thank you, sir. And here is the next question. What are the initial challenges you face to develop the practical model of your product? Like you have an idea to develop a product and solve a problem, right? So, what are the challenges you face to create the practical model that is for satisfying a customer need?
Yes, there are two things: the initial challenges for operation, initial challenges for deliveries. When it comes to initial challenges for operations, I have got into the trap. I mean, nowadays there are a lot of things like the entrepreneurship cell you have in your college. You have a lot of organizations helping you start up business and do the legal procedures and everything. And initially, I did not even know the difference between a proprietorship company, partnership company, and private limited company, or a limited liability partnership. I did not even know the difference between these things. So I just got into business. I just started getting a lot of problem statements, and I started providing solutions. I was not thinking about the paperwork. I was not thinking about how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and I was not thinking about where the money goes. And I've spent almost like 1.5 years doing all this with a partner of mine who was in business for the past 5 6 years. And after 2 years, after 1.5 2 years, I was running out of money. And when I was asking for my partner that what happened to all the profits, he said the company is going in loss. And then after long nights of understanding the balance sheets and everything, I learned that the particular partner was siphoning money out of the company, and I was cheated. And at that time, I had almost minus 30 45 lakhs in the account. So I had to start from not scratch, start from minus 45 lakhs all over again. So that is the challenge of operations. Make sure you monitor your expenses, make sure you monitor where the cash flow statements, make sure you monitor that you're not being cheated, and also make sure you're making everything legal. Because there are a couple of agreements at that time I did not sign that made someone cheat me, because I did not even know that those things were there initially. So that is why I said the rest are walk in the park. Similarly, the rest of these legal processes and all these things will be very easy for you. I mean, like, you'll not be getting cheated for 45 lakhs like me now, because you have a lot of people to guide. So that is the challenges in operations. Make sure things are going right. So challenges in deliveries, committing to the customer. So yes, there are a couple of traps that I don't want you to get into. First thing is, getting appointment with the customer is a very difficult thing. And once you get an appointment with the customer and you have a product to offer, you have a solution to offer, but the customer will be looking for a different product or a different solution. So now it's very difficult to say no to the customer. You'll not have the guts to say. Your tummy will always want to say yes to the customer. Once you say yes to the customer, you'll be focusing on an entirely new product, entirely new service, just to satisfy that particular customer. And just because of that, you'll be losing your time, energy, and everything that you have to be putting into the your actual product and your actual market. Instead, you'll become customer centric. just because you were not able to say no to a customer. So that is something that I have learned in a very tough way, and I'd be so glad if you guys learn to say no where you have to say no on a very bold note. And second thing, time. When you commit to a customer, time about the delivery, let us say I'm going to deliver by tomorrow evening, and if you cannot make the delivery before committing, I mean, if the customer is going to call you and ask you when I'm going to get the product, and if you do not know the answer, just tell them that give me some time, I'll evaluate and tell you. Don't just commit a time and then try to squeeze everything within that time. That will affect your quality of delivery very much, and that will put a lot of stress in your mind. And that lot of stress in your mind will be so fun initially, and when you're doing it over a period of time, it'll wear you out so bad. And once you commit a time, everybody is not perfect, everything is not perfect. Your supplier would have failed to deliver the raw material to you on time, or you would have got some power cut, you would have had some honest reasons due to which you cannot deliver by tomorrow evening. You'll be able to deliver only by day after tomorrow evening. Make sure to inform it to the customer as early as possible. The moment you know it, inform them. The higher the time they have to arrange alternates, the less frustrated they feel about you. But once the delivery time is passed and you're making your customer call you and ask why you have not delivered, and then you're going to tell your customer that, so sorry, I'll be delivering it by tomorrow evening only. That's the worst thing anyone can do. You lose that customer forever. So that also needs a little bit of gut to do. You just call up your customer and say, I'm sorry. Due to honest reasons, it's going to take time. So when it comes to challenges in operations, I would say learn to say no wherever required and commit with your time, plan the commitment. And when you fail, be open, be bold, inform them in advance.
So thank you, sir. It was a really a very helpful one for our young entrepreneurs. I think you shared your real experience. I was very glad to know that you have faced so much of challenges, and I'm very glad that you have also shared to help our entrepreneurs as well. So I thank our beloved director, sir, Dr. Ian Murray Wilson, and our principal ma'am, Dr. L.M. Merling Livingston, for guiding us. I thank our honorable guest, Mr. C. Karthik, for giving a wonderful session in spite of his busy schedule. I thank Mr. S. Bhaskaran, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at JPR Institute of Technology, for organizing the webinar. I also thank Mr. Vivin for hosting in live. Feedback link is posted in the chat box. Participants are requested to fill those forms. For more updates of webinar, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, it was a really very wonderful